Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It's Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Right on our strength. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. We're here in the Hercules Tires studios in Concord, North Carolina, and so glad you joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post. Erin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. I can no longer hear you. I don't know if that matters or not, but I cannot hear you through my earpiece.
I can actually. I can hear you because I'm sitting 6
yes,
feet
exactly.
from you.
I can hear you because I'm doing that. So anyhow, we can have our folks work on it because I have lost everything in my ear from Erin. And my concern is later on when we talk to Buddy Kofoid and Shane Stewart, I want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me anymore.
I don't want to hear you anymore, and you don't want to hear me anymore.
Well, there's that, too.
There's that, too. See that? Yeah, flash up. Okay, so I think I shared this last week. I have been, with all my travels, I've been T-shirt shopping. Okay, I will qualify this, okay? Prior to the sprint car world, I could care less about T-shirts. I would get them from the NASCAR world, and I'd wear them, and it didn't faze me. And honestly, I probably went a year or two in the sprint car world, and then I, bought my first one. And it's worse than you with shoes.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It might be worse than you. It's marginal. It's close to you with shoes. Okay,
all right, I'll go with that.
It's not bad.
Because I think I have a few more pairs.
It's not
than
as
that.
bad as you with shoes. I mean, that's not possible. Okay, that's
yeah, let's not ask Ray's opinion.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, let's dial up Ray Evernham and see what his opinion on shoes are, and find out that I am greatly exaggerating. So I have been all over. What I love about them is I love the variety. I love the busy. I love the plain. I love the different. I love the different colors. Okay. That's one of the things that's really got me now because everybody has a black shirt.
Yeah.
And I like them. And I like them because it's a friend, it's a driver, it's someone I respect.
Yeah.
But I also like when I find variety shirts, okay? So this one here, I'm going to start with this one right here, okay? And this one is rather plain, okay?
I like the simple look.
Simple look,
yeah.
exactly. I don't know who's calling me.
Oh,
leave me alone. I'm on the air.
We got all sorts of stuff going on today.
I got too much going on here, okay? I got too much going on. Let's turn this down so they don't bother me again. Okay, so this is the Raymer Brothers racing shirt.
Oh, I like that.
Very plain, nothing on the back, just very, very plain and simple,
subtle.
and I love that.
Yep.
And you know, and I've talked about this, when I go to Pennsylvania, the first stop I make, and sometimes the last stop late at night, is the Raymer's brother trailer because of Fred, you know?
Yep, and
so,
the cold beverages they may offer there.
They have cold beverages there? Yeah, so I love that one, okay? So then I'm wandering around Pennsylvania, okay, and I love
this is all one trip?
Well, there's multiple trips here.
I was going to say that. I mean, you got to have a budget for this.
Well, I took, because I haven't been going to sprint car racing, I did go with a healthy budget to Pennsylvania, but I did get a little bit more. Okay. So I love the color on this Dylan Cisney shirt. Look at that, okay? And it's good. Nice, colorful.
It is good color.
But I love the color on that Dylan Cisney shirt. And who doesn't love Dylan Cisney?
I know.
I mean, come on. He's
good
just
guy.
like the best guy on the planet, okay? So I love the Dylan Cisney shirt.
Oh,
okay.
This is fun. Getting fashion advice here from Steve Post.
And nobody knows fashion more than me, okay? Please, God. Okay, so now one of the things that I've had, there's Logan Wagner, okay, reigning champ, but I love the Zemco car.
Well, the car and the color.
I love the Zemco car, and I talked to the fine folks there, John and Pee Wee up at Williams Grove, and man, they are just wonderful human beings.
They are.
I love them. I love Logan. Well, last year at the Weichert Memorial, Logan and Ryan Taylor and a bunch kind of took over the DJ stand. I might have been involved in it a little bit late at night, and we had a ball. And so, yes, I got my Logan Wagner shirt. Okay. Now, this one here is just like sheer respect.
Now that's
Lance DeWeese. But this is the 35th anniversary shirt.
Oh, man, you didn't get me one of them?
Look at that. See that? I didn't know you wanted it. I didn't know it wasn't in the budget.
You know I'm a Lance DeWeese
Well, I know
fan.
you're a Lance DeWeese fan, but this is all of his cars.
Yeah, even better.
Are you kidding me? This one here, like,
all right, I got to tweet Lance.
Okay, I might be scared to wear this one because it
might be a
so
collector's
much.
item.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now I've done more than just that again, and I like different colored shirts. So I was at East Lincoln Speedway, And Pete Walton's gang
Wow,
was there.
look at the pink.
Look at the pink. Exactly.
They're not going to miss you in that.
They're not going to miss me in that. But I went to a USCS Thunder tour, and all I got was a muddy shirt. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? And again, the color is good, and like I said, I enjoy that. Okay, now last week on the show, this one here is my favorite one.
Oh, my
okay.
brother just got this one. Yep.
Look at that right there. We had Rico on the show. Look at that.
That
you imagine
is, I mean, look at
you walk through the airport.
Well, and
without
honestly,
him.
they got some hair similarities going on.
We're working
on
on it. This is the Rico starter kit.
The starter kit.
Yeah, it's the Rico
Now, are you
starter
to the
kit.
point where you can do the man bun?
I probably could, but I've been told not to do it.
Oh, really? Because it help your running.
Well, I should probably remember running. Yes, exactly. Now that I'm a highly trained, highly skilled
athlete.
Yes, exactly. But I love the Rico shirt.
I do too.
Okay, so that is cool.
I might need to get one of those too.
I love that one.
Now I'm going to have a shoe and T-shirt problem.
There we go. See that exactly. This one here. Okay, this is the Greg Hodnett 5K shirt from the 5K. And what I love about this,
Oreo.
It's running with the Oreo. Look at the face is the Oreo there, okay? And Greg loved his Oreos and Pepsis, okay? On the back is just the shirt sponsors, the event sponsors. But I like this one. I love the running shirts are fun when I do 5Ks. But obviously this one because it's Greg and the Greg Hodnett 5K. So I love that. So how about that?
Look at that.
Man,
wow.
I am just
styling.
I am styling. I am all about style as long as it's a T-shirt, and it is great, and like I said, and that's what I just when you go to especially in 2020, we know everybody is struggling.
Yeah.
Okay, and honestly, I kind of joked that my T-shirt budget was good. My T-shirt budget was good because my first race was July 4th weekend. Okay, and so if you find yourself sitting at home a lot more and everything like that, reach out to a team, go to the track, buy a T-shirt.
Go to their website.
Go to the website and do it because the T-shirts. There's a lot of drivers and a lot of teams that goes right to your favorite driver.
Yeah,
and that's just
There's better way to support them.
No better way to support them, and then you wear it. And someone says, "Man, I like that Raymer Brothers shirt."
Yeah,
they
like
go
those
buy
two in the
6 or
pile
7.
that I saw that I need to go and order right now.
There we go. They go buy some, okay, and that helps your race car driver as well. Yeah. So it is cool. I love the T-shirt culture. I love the T-shirt. I love my T-shirt collection, and I'm excited. I cannot wait. I wore the Hodnett. I did a run. I did one of my run clubs on Sunday, and so I wore that, and I'm like, oh. Darn! I need to make sure I wash that quickly because I got to because I'm not going to not in that running in 100-degree weather. I'm not bringing
the
that in
runs
here
lately around here have been not so pretty.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. Okay, let's get to our classic ink screen printing embroidery hot topics. Finally, the Posse versus the Outlaws, Williams Grove Summer Nationals. How about Shane Stewart? Isn't that? We're going to talk to him.
I was so happy for him. I think everyone was cheering for him.
I love Shane Stewart. I understand the world we live in now.
Yeah.
And the struggle he has had. I mean, but man, seeing him stand on the wing.
Yeah.
Just good. And speaking of seeing someone stand on the wing, did you see David Gravel with Jax on the wing?
Yes, I sure did.
David Gravel won on Saturday night. And that was so cool to see the big money at $20,000 at Williams Grove. So that was cool to see David and Jax. David has won, like at Williams Grove since 2014, he's won 7 times.
Yeah.
Pretty stout.
And it's so neat for Bobby being from Pennsylvania, and so many of their sponsors are local.
I think the other thing, and Bruce Ellis kind of alluded to this in Victory Lane, David's first win, I think, in Pennsylvania was 2014 when he got into Stevie Smith for the National Open at driving Fred's car.
Still don't really want to talk about that one.
Well, no, he doesn't. And so, like in 2015, like armed security just about is what he needed to go there. But he kind of, Bruce kind of joked about it in Victory Lane when Bruce Ellis did in Victory Lane. And he said, "You're getting better." He said, "We're getting better here," and fans are starting to forget about 2014, except for Bruce brought it up in Victory Lane.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
But yeah, it's cool. So the Outlaws, and Sheldon won at Lincoln on Thursday night. Knoxville, Erin Reitzel. We're going to show you this highlight. I mean, this is off-road buggy racing. I mean, it's Erin Reitzel. I mean, Erin Reitzel, there's a phrase about putting him up on the dash. I think Erin Reitzel lives with him on the dash. I mean, it is unreal. Picked up the win at Knoxville. Bill Baylog 6 straight with the IRA bumper-to-bumper sprints. So the North Pole Nightmare is doing well. I kind of like this. I like the respect that everyone shows in Pennsylvania when the World of Outlaws are at Williams Grove and Lincoln and Port. They all kind of work together. But yet, I'm not. And it's weird because I like that. But I also like what Selinsgrove did.
Yeah.
They went with a $3,000 to win 410 show on Saturday night. And we know Selinsgrove is in a weird spot because they're this 360 track in 410 land, and they're scratching and clawing, and we're in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so all bets are off in 2020. They did a 360 show, or a 410 show, 3,000 to win. And you're right, there are so many guys that are not going to go to Williams Grove against the World of Outlaws. And when
just
you
to
look
make the
at
field is so hard.
Yeah, you can. Jason Schultz picked up the win. Kyle Reinhardt and Dylan Cisney. And you look at those three guys. Jason is a great 360 racer, and they're going to struggle to qualify for the A main for $800 or $1,000 or whatever it was at Williams Grove, or they could go to Selinsgrove and feel like they can compete for $3,000. And so I don't know. I like both. I like honoring and staying quiet, and I respect that Port does that when Williams Grove runs the Outlaws. I'm good with that. But I also like the idea that some of these guys, particularly here in 2020, they get a chance to race. Yeah. Because they're not going to. They're going to go run. They're going to do a qualifying lap, a heat race, and their C main or B main.
Yeah, and I think what you said, it's 2020,
it's
and
2020.
all bets are off. And people need to make a buck. Not only does the racetrack,
right,
but those other teams, like you said, they can't.
Yeah, I talked to Mike after the 410 shows, late model shows. That's what really works at Selinsgrove. They're not going to do 410 shows because Port Royal is a half hour down the road. So they've got to find them when they can, and so I salute them.
There seemed to be a market for both. They both
had a good crowd. They had a good field of cars. They had 18 cars, but they had a huge crowd.
Yeah,
which is good. So good for them. Placerville, it was the Forney Memorial. It was Blake Carrick, a 16-year-old racer, and finally this one, CRSA at my home track, Penn Can Speedway in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. Darryl Ruggles. Okay, early in the week he had a medical procedure which required a cast on his right hand. He said to the doctor, "Can I run Penn Can Speedway on Friday night?" The doctor said, "Absolutely not." The nurse came in to set the cast, and he said, "Would it be a problem if I held a chair while you're setting this cast?" She said, "No, as long as we're just keeping it from moving." He put his hands, and she set the cast with it around the chair so that, coincidentally, it could go around his steering wheel. And Darryl Ruggles won Friday night at Penn Can with cast in hand, with that cast latched onto his steering wheel.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's a really
good story. The Ruggles, they're from up in the Canandaigua area, and they're just great racers. His daughter races. They've been racing forever. I remember when the Ruggles used to run the sportsman cars, the dirt sportsman cars. They've been racing forever. And how bad do you want it? Darryl Ruggles. But now he's wandering around this cast or this like this the rest of the week. I was like, but I won a Penn Can, and that's what matters. So sprint car racers being sprint car racers, that is for sure. There you have it, our Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. They are not just for racing. Okay, local businesses, school districts, sports teams, you name it, they have it. Drivers like Sheldon Hodenshield, Donnie Schatz, Danny Dietrich, David Stremme, and Ashley with Lethal Chassis, Tony Stewart, Brian Brown, and the list goes on. You can find out more at www.classicink.com.
They offer full custom driver apparel and crew wear options, full-service embroidery department specializing in headwear and outerwear, and they have an experienced design team and a dedicated sales department.
Yes, indeed. ClassicInkUSA.com. We mentioned the off-road buggy racing that Aaron Reitzel did at Knoxville Raceway. Tony Bachhoven with the call. It was on Dirt Vision. Give a listen to this. It was Reitzel. It was Ian Madsen. It was Austin McCarl. And it is our Dryden Diesel all-death-defying move of the week.
Now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Ian goes right to the outside of Austin as he goes to the inside of turn number one. Aaron Reitzel right there as well. Reitzel now to the inside for second and three. Car bound for the lead down the back chute, 3 wide into turn 3. Aaron Reitzel takes the lead in turn number 4.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are.
We are.
We are Team Dryden.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Dean Hotline. Okay, fresh off from not one, but 2 trips to Victory Lane with it's not new, but it's new this year, but it's not, but
totally
it is,
new,
but it
yeah.
is, it is. Well, he'll explain it all. Buddy Kofoid's on the line. Hello, Buddy. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Man, it is great to hear from you. Congratulations. Rolled out the sprint car, the 410. You went to the brutally tough Attica and Fremont Speedway up there with all the locals in Northwest Ohio, the Attica Fremont Series, and you scored 2 wins. Congratulations. Pretty good weekend for you, young man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It was definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to go. I figured it'd go pretty good because I've had quite a bit of experience the past year and a little bit this year already, and but it's a new car, and pretty much everything was new and something that I wasn't really used to. And I was kind of doing the math the other day, and I think the last time Keith and all those guys rolled out the sprint car was almost 10 months ago. So for that to happen and then to get 2 wins was pretty cool.
Buddy, what's the plan behind Keith putting together these sprint cars? We know, traditionally he's been a super, super successful midget owner. When you go to the Chili Bowl, there's like 52 of those midgets all with Keith Kunz Motorsports. But the whole idea to go wing sprint car racing, how did it come about? I know this, like you said, they did a little bit last year, but how did this come about to put 2 cars together and go this weekend?
Really, actually, before I kind of joined them at the end of last year, they already had a few sprint cars, and they kind of had a new one that wasn't actually built yet, which was the one that I ended up running. So they sold some stuff, and they actually built the new car, which was one I ran, and then the car I ran for them last year, which is almost identical. That one was kind of stripped down and kind of refreshed a little bit. So they were kind of there for the most part, and we had a free weekend and decided to, break them out. So, the plan was to, I think they wanted Dason to run a little bit, and they wanted me to help out with him, and they kind of maybe see if we can find something good going with their program, and because there's a lot of stuff new. We have new shock package and new cars, so, I think we found something pretty good so far.
I would say so, and it's good to bring the years and years and years of experience that you have. How old are you?
18.
Okay, yeah, well, there you go. Exactly. No, I mean, and it's just it cracks me up, and I get it totally because you and Dason probably speak a lot closer to the same language than everyone else. So I think that's really good. Dason is one of the young drivers in the program over there. Buddy, Fremont and Attica. You talked about your experience there, and you were with Ed Neumeister and Mike and Stephanie Linder, just 3 of the kindest, nicest. In fact, you lived with the Linders for Pete's sake, and you moved right into their house. That has got to be to go back there and race, and then to get the win has got to be a little slice of heaven, like a reunion for you in this topsy-turvy world of midgets and sprint cars where you're everywhere on the planet. That's almost got to seem like home for you.
It's starting to feel like home now, and
yeah.
And actually, what's funny is this past weekend I still stayed at their house. This past weekend when I was racing for Keith, so they always got a place open for me, and like you said, they've treated me like family from the beginning, and they feel like family. So, I appreciate everything that they've all done, and there's a lot more people. Steve and Linder and Ray Brooks and the whole crew, Sam and. Even Chris and Cody Jarrett. There's a bunch of people that work on that 11N car that, treat me like family, and we are one big family. So, and I think Ohio or Northwest Ohio has kind of maybe adopted me as one of their own, it kind of feels like. So, to come back and hear everyone cheering and is pretty cool. And, especially to knock off 2 wins in front of, I guess you could kind of say a home crowd is a good feeling.
Yeah, for sure. I love that aspect of our sport, the whole family part, aside from everything that happens on track, to be adopted by a different part of the country and now feel so comfortable there. Buddy, you mentioned after the race that it was neat to bring a bunch of midget guys, crew guys, and get them a sprint car win. What has that been like for the crew guys? I can't imagine the differences between working on a non-wing midget type of car versus taking them to a wing sprint car race. How has that been for them?
I think they've enjoyed it quite a bit. I think they kind of like the change of pace. Getting to kind of do something different for a weekend, and to me, you can't go wrong with sprint car racing. So I think they kind of thought the same thing. So it was cool to do something different. So it was just a little bit smaller crew and less cars than what we're all used to. But Chuck Ernie and Jarrett Martin, Grant Penn, and Keith and Pete, of course, they all were there. So, and actually two of the crew, Jarrett Martin and Grant Penn, are my roommates. So Jarrett, that was his first weekend crew chiefing a sprint car, and he actually crew chiefs for me on the midget side. So he's actually kind of new to the crew chief role this year in general. So, I think I've won with Jarrett and Grant 6 times this year already, so they're a big, smart group of people. So, for Jarrett to adapt quickly to the sprint cars, and with the second at Fremont, I don't think him and Keith had much input with each other. It was more Jarrett kind of making the decisions himself. So to do that, and to get a win and beat a bunch of really good guys is pretty cool, and it kind of makes me proud to see all that too.
That is really, really neat. That is fun stuff. That really is. I want to talk about Keith Kunz, okay? I don't know. I've talked to Keith a few times. I don't know him that well, and every conversation has been spectacular. He's just a wonderful guy. We talked about hunting and at Millbridge, and we've talked about midgets and sprint cars and everything like that. Yet when I see him, he reminds me of Roger Penske. And it's like, well, man, he's all buttoned up. He's all this. He's just, everything is put together in a spot. I'm like, man, I better wipe off my shoes before I walk in the pits and everything. Is it both of that with Keith? Because I'm fascinated by him. I'm a little intimidated at times until we start talking. And that's like my buddy Keith. What's he like to drive for?
It's, really, even I guess going back quite a few years, growing up in Northern California, we would always go to the Blue River Mill in Calistoga. Yep. And there was a while where, Keith and their whole crew would come, and I would just watch them dominate and watch Tanner and Rico and all those guys run for them. Some people that I knew and that I raced go-karts with, so I always thought it would be so cool to actually race for them and I'd get that opportunity. So, I don't know how many years ago that would have been now, but to be here now is actually kind of a dream come true and really special. So, and also to be involved with Toyota makes it even better. So, there's times where, like you said, it can be intimidating, but it's always really fun in the end, and we're always really happy, and we seem to get pretty good results so far. So, we're really close to that USAC one. That's just kind of one more thing I'd like to knock off, but in the end of the day, it's all serious, of course, and we all do this for a living. But at the end of the day, it's a big fun group to be around for sure.
Buddy, is there a plan for the sprint car team? Obviously, the midgets are the focus, but I saw you guys were working on 2 different shock packages. You got new cars. Is there a plan? Is it just for random off weekends, or is there a hope of maybe running more in the future with the 67?
It's kind of hard to tell right now. Like, for example, this past weekend was really there was a free weekend, and they were actually most of the way built, and it was just kind of a thought. And then after the Mid-America Midget Week with USAC, right kind of the day after, we made the plan for sure. So, we left Friday morning, and we left the shop Thursday night, finished building them at like 10 or 11. So it was pretty close and pretty last minute, but I kind of think that it'll be, see how each week goes, or, what's open. But, I also think that the plan is to kind of build up on it and to kind of see where it takes us, or really what their plan is for the future.
Exciting. It really is. And it was exciting to watch you win at Attica and Fremont. Love those little racetracks up in Western Ohio, and I know you do too. Buddy, again, congratulations on the success. We appreciate the time, and we'll probably talk to you down the road about some more wins. But thanks for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on. I always appreciate talking with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
There we go. Always a good time. That is Buddy Kofoid on the Dryden Hotline. You know, just like racing components, Aggressive Hydraulics purpose builds hydraulic cylinders to perform for customer-specific applications, design and manufacture of mobile-style single-stage cylinders, as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. They use a no one-size-fits-all approach.
They have hydraulic solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. They proudly design and manufacture all cylinders in the United States. Check out their video of their story at aggressivehydraulics.com. They're a proud sponsor of Ryan Newman at the Chili Bowl and all his short track racing.
Yeah, talking about Keith Coons in the Chili Bowl and Ryan Newman in the Chili Bowl and Shane Stewart at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all get together in Tulsa. Fingers crossed we get to do that again this year with the old Rona. Who knows what's going on in the world. But anyhow, speaking of Shane Stewart, he's going to join us next here on Wing Nation.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy. Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Friday night, Erin and I, we talked about this in our opening segment. To see Shane Stewart standing on the wing of that Indy race Indy Race Parts car number 71, just kind of gave a little chill bumps, quite honestly, because we know what the last 9 months or so of life have been like. And Shane joins us now on the Dryden Hotline. Shane, welcome back to Wing Nation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so Erin and I were relieved and happy for you on Friday night. How happy and relieved were you on Friday night?
I think I was more in shock than anything else. Like, just for me, winning at Williams Grove is a feat in itself. But my dad texted me. He's like, "Hey, man, I thought you hated that place." I said, "Well, I actually do." But when you have a car as good as I had, it actually drove itself that race. So hats off to Bernie. Obviously, we rolled in there with a pretty competitive package, and you know he had some success there in the past with Gio, and I had a lot of confidence going in there, knowing that Bernie's cars go good there, and we had spent the day prior at Charlie Garrett's getting a brand new engine from him, so I knew I was going to have plenty of power, and everything worked out good for us.
Shane, I know things kind of fell your way during the night, but you mentioned the new Charlie Garrett engine. In a world that's so competitive now, could you notice the difference? Obviously, Williams Grove is a place where horsepower is extremely important, but, I mean, it seemed like you were just on rails.
Yeah, no, you can tell a difference. It's I don't even know, honestly, how to explain it to other drivers. You know, until I started racing the 71, I've never ran a Charlie Garrett engine before, and you know, the guy's 80 and he works and he works and he works, and he is ridiculously smart when it comes to engines. And you know, the second night, we had a mag box that was going bad on us the first night when we qualified, and we didn't know it, but our car popped and banged and missed, and I was still 7th quick. And then the second night, I messed up on my first lap and was 4th quick, and then I ended up doing a little bit better job driving wise on the second lap and was quick time. But I told Charlie, I'm like, man, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't have been quick time the first night if the motor would have been running right. So as a driver, that's huge, especially there. Like you said, I mean, you got to have a lot of power underneath you. And, having such long straightaways and tight corners, you have to have a motor that pulls off the corner but doesn't, quit pulling at the flag stand. And that's hard to do. But Charlie's definitely figured it out.
Shane Stewart joins us here on Wing Nation on the Dryden guest line. Shane, you talked about the setup. Williams Grove is one of the weirdest. Well, it's funny because then we talk about Knoxville and how tough that is and how technical that is. Williams Grove is so technical. Can you describe to this guy that's never drove a sprint car in his life? You talk about the setup. I mean, how drastically different is it when you have a car that has something like that, where the skill set you have at a tricky technical place like Williams Grove can be utilized? How does that work?
Well, good question. I don't know because I haven't figured it out yet at Williams Grove. Williams Grove is such a unique place. Like you said, it's got really long straightaways. But what's weird about the joint to me is that your car just never feels right. Like it's got the right front off the ground, and you have to learn to balance that because if your right front gets too far off the ground, it obviously won't turn the right way when you get to those sharp corners. So you got to let off and try to control. Honestly, the racetrack actually had pretty good grip both nights, which isn't normal for that place.
Yeah.
And normally the straightaways get really slick, so you got to keep that in mind. I'm not having a lot of tire spin, keeping your right front somewhat on the ground, and then obviously trying to hit your marks on the corner entries. And I'm honestly not that good at it there. But the other night my car was so good. I honestly felt like it was all the car. I didn't feel like I really drove the best 25 laps that I've ever driven, but my car was so good that it actually got me out of trouble a few times. And it was fun. I'm telling you, it's one of the hardest racetracks to win at. They're all hard, but that place to me is exceptionally difficult. And, to win with the Outlaws and just, oh man, I've been working on this car. I work on it during the week, and I tell all my crew guys, I've texted them all. I'm like, man, you know what? I have totally forgot how much work is involved in maintaining a sprint car. And we normally we're just racing on the weekend pretty much. And man, it's a lot of work. So it was just a big relief. A lot of work's finally paying off, and yeah, it was a big win for all of us.
Absolutely. Shane, let's talk about the last 9 months. So you obviously have been through a lot. So not only did you lose your ride, I know you had talked even about quitting racing, which I think is absurd because you have way too much talent. But then we go through all the COVID stuff. Like, life is just crazy. But talk about not only how much this win means, but like you said, now you're working on the stuff and to be in victory lane, and you've got family now and another child. Like, just talk about the craziness of what you have lived.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild. And I was contemplating quitting. I sold my seat at Charlotte, and I was just burnt out, really. And we've talked about it before, and I just needed a break, honestly. And I had my stuff in New Zealand, and then some things popped up in Australia. I was able to go over there and win a few races and get my confidence back up. And it wasn't that I didn't. I still believed in myself. I knew that I could still win races and drive a sprint car, just like I had, the 10 years prior to the last couple of years. And it was just not working. Like, something was not working. And I've always felt like I've always given it 100%. Like, I try to work hard. I try to do the right things outside the car, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, why was I not fast in the 5 car? All the ingredients were there, but something was missing. And I kind of beat myself up about that because I felt like I should have been successful in that car. So, but, obviously the phone rings. It's, I knew that Gio had moved on from the 71. And I had raced with Bernie several years back and had some success with him. And he's like, hey, let's try to put together a small schedule. I can't race full time, which I knew. But let's try to, race 30 or 40 races and see what we can do. And that got me excited. I knew that it was going to be a lot more work on my part, but I enjoy working on the race cars. I just forgot how much work it was involved, but I enjoyed that side of it. And then obviously the COVID stuff kicks in, and then you're wondering where the heck you're going to race next, and if there's even going to be any races. And honestly, we're still in that. Like we still don't know if we're going to be racing in a month from now, and that part of it's pretty scary. Trying to do this for a living and not really knowing what's around the next corner. It's pretty nerve-wracking, especially when you've got some mouths to feed at home. But I'm trying to make the best of it. I've been in a couple different cars, and I raced for Forbrook there at Jackson. I had some motor issues, and I ran a car for Wayne Johnson at Cedar Lake, and that's hard too. It's hard to jump in somebody else's car and be competitive at the outlaw level. And I'm like, man, I just need to buckle down, try to work really hard on the 71, because everywhere we go, we've been competitive and we've been fast, and try to find Bernie a little bit extra money so maybe he can, maybe race 10 more races than he normally budget for. So that's my focus, is trying to run the 71 as much as possible.
Well, I'm excited to hear that. I really am, because I
don't know if any of that made sense. But.
Yeah. No, it does make sense. And I just, none of us can fathom what we're going through. And I've been in the fortunate, where MRN, we're just forging on. NASCAR's racing, we're forging on. Yeah, there's concern, but this aspect of it. But throw in new mouths to feed and all this other stuff. I can't even imagine what it's been like. And again, which led to the satisfaction of Friday night. Where are you racing this coming weekend?
We're going to run the routine race at Plymouth with the All-Stars, and obviously our situation's race by race. If that goes well, then we'll go to Burlington, and then we'll run Knoxville, and then the Outlaws are at Plymouth, Indiana on Sunday. So if we can get through the weekend unscathed, make a little bit of money, hopefully, and we'll try to race Sunday too. But 4 nights in a row, I'm telling you, I can't even explain to you guys. So
are you washing the car too and everything?
Yeah. So normally my lazy butt's in the motorhome in the air conditioner, right? And I roll out and I get to the trailer and I tell my crew guys, man, it's awful hot out here. And then they give you the dirty look like, yeah, it's hot. Like, we've been working in a parking lot all day on your car, so you better do a good job tonight. Well, now that's me. I'm watching it. I'm working on it in the parking lot, and I'm dead. Like, it has been so hot where we've raced and so humid that I get in the truck after we work, and you're drenched, and you're driving to the track, and I'm like, dude, like, I gotta refocus here because I gotta race well tonight too. So honestly, 4 nights in a row, me and Bernie's, we might be spun out by that time, but we're gonna see how it goes. That's our plan, is to try to run 4 nights, but we'll see how it all shakes out.
might be celebrating or might be making a pretty significant bank run on Monday morning. Either way, it's all what it is. It's sprint car racing, that's for sure. Hey, real quick, we're way past time here on this thing, but we just love chatting with you. Are you still doing the porta potty thing? You still working on that? Is your future real job?
Yeah, no, it's still going strong. I've obviously had to rely on Chad to kind of take over things a few times for me because we've been gone racing. But yeah, it's we talked about it that one day on the show, but it wasn't the right timing to buy a portable business in the middle of a pandemic. But it's starting to pick up a little bit. Our phone's ringing, so that's the main thing.
We specialize in your big events, your big parties, your big concerts. So there's not one concert or party or big event happening. So.
Nope. So.
Shane, it is always a pleasure to chat with you, especially after a win like that. I think I speak for Erin and everybody here. We're pulling for you, dude. Man, we love what you're doing, and we wish you the best survival first off on this coming weekend, and some success along the way as well.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for always having me on.
There we go. Shane Stewart joining us there with what is called perspective, folks. That is a really good lesson for everybody, racing or non-racing people, as only Shane can deliver. What a great guy. My gosh.
He really is.
I was happy on Friday night. Now I'm even happier.
Me too.
You know?
Me too.
Really, really fun stuff. Fun for sure. You know, Ford's racing roots extend all the way back to 1901 when Henry Ford won his first and only race. And then last Tuesday night when Donnie Schatz brought a Ford-powered car to the win at Lernerville Speedway and added more to the trophy case. For anyone who loves sprint car racing, it had been as a banner day, and it became clear that the Blue Oval was back in dirt track racing and in a big way with a new Ford FBS 410 engine built in America for a truly American form of racing. Ford is more committed than ever to providing grassroots racing with the contemporary power it craves. Oh, we crave it all, that is for sure. And how about Schatz win at Lernerville last week? Wasn't that
race was fantastic.
Oh my gosh. I was screaming at the computer.
Me too, and Ray
I don't
was
even
sleeping.
know and I'm not pulling for anybody. I can't imagine if you're a Schatz fan, a Larson fan, or a Sweet fan.
Yeah.
I love all three of them, and I am a fan of neither of them when I watch a race. And I'm just screaming, and I'm like, what if I had a dog in this fight?
That was one of the best races I've watched in a long time.
Unreal, really good. So, and Schatz with the Ford power to victory lane. Let's step away. More Wing Nation in just a moment.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Pride. Passion. Performance. We are Team Dryden.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation. I'm telling you what, we need to, I don't know if we should extend the commercial breaks or whatever it is, because we get talking and we lose our minds. And the next thing you know, Craig's like, you're on the air, you're going, check up, you're going, shut up, you're going. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. Plan B Sales was founded in 2010, started as a Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor. Now, Auto World, Greenlight Collectibles, Sam Bass Artwork, Brand Art, and University of Racing lines with a huge inventory.
With partnerships with drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others. You can use promo code MRN for free shipping on orders over $20.
National Sprint Car Hall of Fame birthday calendar. Yesterday, our buddy Brad Doty's birthday.
I know.
Okay, later this week, Ronnie Allen, Jeff Bloom, Ralph Hankinson, and Enos Diz Wilson. Today would have been Raho Jack's birthday. Today also would have been the birthday of 2000 inductee to the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, Chet Wilson. Born in 1917, and he built his first car at age 12.
Wow.
Yeah. So he would build a car, and when he was short on parts, he would fabricate the parts.
At 12.
Yes. Somewhere along the way, he went to the Nebraska State Fair, saw racing, and the rest of his life was game, set, match as far as that goes. He built some cars before WW2, World War II, and then afterward he was a mainstay on the open wheel circuit in the Midwest. 1954, he opened a custom engine building business. One of the popular engines that he had was the Offie Killer. In that time, the Offenhauser was the engine to beat, except for if you could get one of Chet Wilson's engine. In 1958, he built an engine in the mid-50s, a V8 engine that was so powered they could not have a chassis hold up to the engine. Huge success from 58 into the mid-70s, passed away in 1977, but Chet Wilson's story is on display at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. You can check out the Salute to Champion Greg Hodnett there going on, and Bob Baker, our friend there, has floor seating available on the second floor for all of the Knoxville races. Erin, we get a race this week, the Dryden 40 at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway, $10,000 to win tomorrow night on Flow Racing.
Woohoo!
Man, we are in high cotton here in the sprint car world. Oh, are you kidding me? Wing Nation apparel is available at www.wingnation.com or this weekend at, in Sheboygan.
Oh.
Wing Nation apparel has made it to Sheboygan. Boy, this is a banner day. So it'll be in Sheboygan, it'll be in West Burlington, Iowa at 34 Raceway, it'll be at Knoxville, and it'll be at Houston's on the All-Star Circuit of Champions gear. You can follow us on social media, Twitter and Facebook. Coming up on Thursday, this one here is one for the ages. Yes. I can tell we're getting ready to record it, okay? Drew Brenner, we're going to talk about a bunch of things, but he is the crew member for Sheldon Hodenshield with the Stenhouse Marshall Racing Team. And we're going to talk about the work area.
That you see in the work area every single time on Dirt Vision.
And we're going to talk about the work area.
You bet.
Because that is just an amazing place. It really is. So we're going to do that. And then coming up, and this is what we were talking about during the break, okay? Coming up, we already recorded this, which is why I was all geeked up about it. Brad Sweet's going to join us on Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on Saturday. And yes, we did talk a little racing, but we talked a lot of other stuff as well. I am telling you, Brad Sweet is really, really cool. So that is coming up on Saturday on MAV TV. We appreciate so much Buddy Kofoid and Shane Stewart for joining us here on the program. But more important than all of that, thank you for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on MAV TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.